खास और सम्मानित लोग उपस्थित हैं। उनकी उपस्थिति से हमारा ये कार्यक्रम और भी खास हो गया है। आप सभी से अनुरोध है कि अपनी जोरदार तालियों से कॉन्फ्रेंस रूम में आए हुए हमारे सभी विशिष्ट अतिथियों का स्वागत करें।
हमारे मुख्य अतिथि डॉक्टर रितेश अग्रवाल, ऑर्थोपेडिक सर्जन एंड डायरेक्टर, डॉक्टर रितेश ऑर्थोपेडिक्स एंड ट्रॉमा सेंटर जयपुर, डॉक्टर अरुणकांत सिंह, सीनियर साइंटिस्ट, CSIR नेशनल फिजिकल लैबोरेटरी, आर्किटेक्ट राहुल सिंघी, डायरेक्टर पूर्णिमा ग्रुप, डॉक्टर पंकज दीमला, वाइस प्रिंसिपल PCE, डॉक्टर मेहर चंद, प्रेसिडेंट मेडटेक थिंकिंग फाउंडेशन, डॉक्टर गौतम सिंह, रजिस्ट्रार PCE, डॉक्टर अमित गुप्ता, चीफ प्रॉक्टर PCE, डॉक्टर शिल्पी जैन, कोऑर्डिनेटर PCE, एंड डॉक्टर प्राणनाथ दादीज, HOD सिविल PC।
हमारी परंपरा के अनुसार हम किसी भी शुभ कार्य का आरंभ ईश्वर के वंदन के साथ करते हैं। हमारा समस्त अतिथियों से निवेदन है कि वे एक साथ दीप प्रज्वलित कर आज की इस कॉन्फ्रेंस का उद्घाटन करें।
नमस्कार, गुड मॉर्निंग टू ऑल। माननीय मुख्य अतिथि डॉक्टर रितेश अग्रवाल, ऑर्थोपेडिक एंड ट्रॉमा सर्जन, निदेशक डॉक्टर रितेश ऑर्थोपेडिक्स एंड ट्रॉमा सेंटर जयपुर, आदरणीय डॉक्टर अरुणकांत सिंह, वरिष्ठ वैज्ञानिक CSIR फिजिकल लैबोरेटरी दिल्ली, आदरणीय आर्किटेक्ट राहुल सिंघी सर, निदेशक पूर्णिमा समूह, आदरणीय डॉक्टर पंकज दीमला, वाइस प्रिंसिपल पूर्णिमा कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग, साथ ही आदरणीय गणमान्य डॉक्टर मेहर चंद, अध्यक्ष MTTF, डॉक्टर गौतम सिंह, रजिस्ट्रार पूर्णिमा कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग, डॉक्टर अमित गुप्ता, चीफ प्रॉक्टर पूर्णिमा कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग, डॉक्टर प्राणनाथ दादीज, HOD सिविल पूर्णिमा कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग, साथ ही सम्मानित अतिथिगण, संकाय सदस्य एवं सभी प्रतिभागी, आप सभी का मैं हृदय से अत्यंत गर्मजोशी और सम्मान के साथ AICTE वानी प्रायोजित 3 दिवसीय राष्ट्रीय सम्मेलन सतत विकास के लिए गणितीय जीव विज्ञान और पारिस्थितिकी में स्वागत करती हूँ। यह सम्मेलन 27 से 29 नवंबर 2025 तक पूर्णिमा कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग जयपुर के द्वारा आनंद इंटरनेशनल कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग के सहयोग से आयोजित हो रहा है। यह आयोजन न केवल एक महत्वपूर्ण शैक्षणिक पहल है, बल्कि हमारे राष्ट्रीय संकल्प क्षेत्रीय भाषाओं में वैज्ञानिक संवाद को बढ़ावा देना, अंतर विषयक शोध को सुदृढ़ बनाना तथा सतत विकास लक्ष्यों के साथ शिक्षा को संरेखित करने का सुंदर उदाहरण भी है। सबसे पहले मैं AICTE वानी और अटल एकेडमी का हार्दिक आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ। साथ मैं आप सभी का पुनः स्वागत करती हूँ और आशा करती हूँ कि आगामी 3 दिनों में विचार विमर्श से नए विचार, उपयोगी सहयोग और प्रभावी शोध परिणाम उभर कर सामने आएंगे। आप सभी का धन्यवाद। सम्मेलन की सफलतम कामनाएं। जय हिंद, जय पूर्णिमा संस्थान।
आज के परिप्रेक्ष्य में ये बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है। आज जो वर्ल्ड बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम फेस कर रहा है, चाहे वो क्लाइमेट चेंज हो या बायोडाइवर्सिटी के अंदर लॉस हो, चाहे वो हम जो अर्थ से डिप्लीट कर रहे हैं नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज को, चाहे वो एनवायरमेंटल डिग्रेडेशन हो, इन सभी प्रॉब्लम्स जो कि वर्ल्ड पूरा फेस कर रहा है, उसमें मैथमेटिक्स, बायोलॉजी और इकोलॉजी का जो कन्वर्जेंस है, ये बहुत ही एक इम्पॉर्टेंट फ्रेमवर्क है जिसके अंदर हम इन सभी प्रॉब्लम्स को एड्रेस कर सकते हैं। चाहे वो डिजीज मॉडलिंग हो, चाहे वो पॉपुलेशन डायनामिक्स हो, चाहे वो एनवायरमेंटल प्रेडिक्शन हो, इन सभी के अंदर बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि ये मैथमेटिकल टूल्स जो कि इस सारी प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व करने में एक इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल अदा करते हैं। मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के कन्वीनर और उनके फैकल्टी मेंबर्स और जो कोऑर्डिनेटर्स हैं, वॉलंटियर्स हैं, जिनके की सतत प्रयासों से संभव हो सका कि हम कॉन्फ्रेंस को इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे लेके आए हैं। और उम्मीद करता हूँ कि जो बाहर से सभी पार्टिसिपेंट आए हुए हैं वो इन 3 दिवस के अंदर जो अपना शोध प्रस्तुत करेंगे और बहुत सारी चीज़ों के अंदर, नए चीज़ों के अंदर कोलैबोरेट करेंगे और आने वाले 3 दिन उनके लिए बहुत ही फ्रूटफुल हों और एक नए कोलैबोरेट करके नए रिसर्च के अंदर उनका मार्गदर्शन करें। इन्हीं के साथ में वापस से मैं सभी का धन्यवाद देता हूँ इस पूर्णिमा कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग में आने के लिए। धन्यवाद।
Permanent employees of Purnima, even if a peon or a driver is a permanent employee, जो हमारे पास mostly सारे permanent employees ही हैं, so they are also covered under the health insurance scheme. So these are some small things which we have tried to change in last 5-6 years or introduce in last 5-6 years, and we have seen tremendous results. पहले हमको लगता था कि ये unnecessarily खर्चा है, फिजूल खर्ची है, बट आई थिंक जब लोगों को एक सेफ एनवायरनमेंट और एक अच्छा एकेडमिक एनवायरनमेंट मिलता है तो the vibes are very positive, and that is one of the reason why we have grown almost 5 times in last 5 years. We have not seen this growth in previous 20 years of our establishment. मतलब 2000 से लेके 2020 तक वो growth नहीं थी जो 2020 से 2025 में हमको मिली है. And I think it is not just because of decision taken by management, but it is because of the people who are running the show. So institution के अंदर सब लोगों ने ये decision लिया कि हमको let's say NAC A+ लेके आना है, A++ लेके आना है, autonomous बनना है. आप believe नहीं करेंगे, it was all efforts of the faculty members, the HODs and the leadership of the individual campus. So I believe in decentralizing things, making people empowered to take their own decisions, and this conference is also one of that decision. So आज आप लोग यहाँ पे आए हैं और इतनी सारे अलग अलग इंस्टीट्यूशन से आए हैं, ये हमारे लिए बहुत गर्व की बात है कि आप पूर्णिमा पधारे. आप आते रहिए, रेगुलरली आते रहिए हमारे, इफ नॉट फॉर कॉन्फ्रेंसेज, मे बी फॉर स्पोर्ट्स, इफ नॉट फॉर स्पोर्ट्स, मे बी कभी कैंटीन में हमारे यहाँ पे कुछ खाने पीने आ जाए करे, बिकॉज हम लोगों ने कैंटीन के लोगों को भी एम्पावर कर रखा है. आप बिलीव नहीं करेंगे, हमारे साल में जो इंसेंटिव बढ़ते हैं उसमें सबसे ज़्यादा इंसेंटिव कैंटीन के ऑपरेटर्स को बढ़ता है, क्योंकि हम लोगों ने उनको अपना कैंटीन में पार्टनर बना रखा है. सो वट एवर प्रॉफिट वी आर अर्निंग फ्रॉम द कुक्ड मील्स विच आर वार्म, we take a certain percentage which is equally divided with the other people. So अभी जब हमारा फैकल्टी इंसेंटिव स्कीम हुआ था तो कैंटीन के लोगों ने 6-6 लाख रुपए, 7-7 लाख रुपए इंसेंटिव के तौर पे बटोरे पिछले 1 साल में, whereas हमारे जो फैकल्टी मेंबर्स हैं they were stuck on to 2 lakh, 2.5 lakh, 3 lakh rupees. And there is no pressure. So पहले हमारे को ऐसी प्रॉब्लम्स होती थी कि बच्चे कंप्लेन करते हैं कि सर कैंटीन 8 बजे बंद हो जाती है, कैंटीन के अंदर से रात को जो है वो सुबह के ठंडे पिज्ज़ा और बर्गर जो है वो ही हमको मिलते हैं. तो वी आर नॉट गेटिंग एनीथिंग वार्म, वी आर नॉट गेटिंग एनीथिंग लेट नाइट. हमको तो रात को स्टडीज करते हैं. इंजीनियरिंग आपको मालूम ही है सर, एक दिन पहले जगते हैं, एक दिन पहले पढ़ाई करते हैं. तो सो देन वी एम्पावर्ड दीज पीपल. और अब हालत ऐसी है कि जो कैंटीन वाले लोग हैं वो बोलते हैं कि सर 2 घंटा और खोल लें क्योंकि बिजनेस अच्छा आ रहा है. सो वी टेक a lot of feedback from the stakeholders, and stakeholders are not just students and faculty members but also our employees. So every year we do a open house in our auditorium जहाँ पे हम 600-700 लोग इकट्ठे होते हैं. Everybody is free to give their opinion, their concerns. Just in case if they are not able to speak in front of many people, they can write it on a parchi and submit it at the end of the conference or a session. So we are a very open and transparent organization. Whatever feedback you will give us, we'll take it constructively and we'll make sure that the next time it is improved. Well, thank you so much. आप लोग आज पधारे और आप खूब enjoy करें इस conference को, खूब सारी learnings लेके जाएं. बहुत सारे धुरंधर speakers जो हैं वो आज यहाँ पे हैं. खूब networking करें, collaborate करें. Thank you so much.
I am just going to discuss sensitivity orthopedic surgery. It is a new topic for me, and just I have never thought about the sustainability in orthopedics. Whenever someone talk about me something and ring me up, I always think about the trauma, fracture, knee replacement, hip replacement, and fixation. But never thought about the sustainability in orthopedic surgery. Today I am going to discuss about this, a new topic regarding this. And thank you Shilpi ma'am for giving me to this platform. Sustainability is the ability to be maintained or continue over a long period of time, especially in a way that does not deplete natural resource or harm the environment. The 3 P's of sustainability are environment, social and economic dimensions. These pillars represent the interconnected areas that must be balanced to meet present needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. The healthcare sector, including orthopedic surgery, has significant carbon footprints and generates large amount of waste. Orthopedic surgery produces estimated 60% more waste than other surgical specialties, largely due to single-use items and energy-intensive operating rooms. Healthcare sector represents one of the largest contributors to world's carbon footprint, second only to food production industry. It is amazing for me. In the UK, the NHS generates approximately 4 to 5% of nation's total greenhouse gases emission and estimated 25 megatons of carbon dioxide emission annually. The NHS also produces 5 lakh tons of waste annually, accounting for a quarter of our public sector waste. Operating rooms generate about 20 to 30% of hospital total waste, where one surgery can generate more waste than a family of 4 can produce in a week. In orthopedic surgery, most of the instruments we use in the OT are the single use. We use one time and just throw it away. That is the basic cost of the orthopedic surgery, is the implant and the devices we use. If surgery costs 1 lakh, 60,000 is spent on the devices only. And these devices make the bulk of the waste of the orthopedic surgery. They are highly energy consumption and highly expensive. That's why they have major carbon footprints in healthcare sector. I think orthopedic surgery is the basic and the most expensive one of the surgery and have the loss of 60% of the waste generated in the orthopedic surgery only. Healthcare waste is segregated in 2 parts, hazardous and non-hazardous. Usually it is collected from the hospital waste and taken to landfills and incineration. Non-hazardous waste disposed at landfills and hazardous waste incinerated using high energy processes. It is being burned out at high temperatures. Up to 90% of hazardous operating room waste, OR means operating room, is inappropriately segregated and subsequently incinerated. You can see with the data in the OT operation theatre, minimum amount is hazardous waste, only 10%, and 90% is non-hazardous waste, in which some part can be recycled, some part can be put in the landfill areas. But that 90% amount we have to incinerate it over there and produce large amount of carbon footprints over there. Incineration has negative implications for the environment, heavy release pollutant causing soil and water acidification, destruction of aquatic life, and mercury contamination of water sources. Our operating room waste contain lot of chemicals, sometimes mercury also. And if it is incinerated and put in the landfill areas, mercury is highly toxic for especially aquatic and human beings too. It is called slow rate deterioration of the health. Additionally, incineration costs 10 to 20 times more than hazardous waste disposal, which finally adds to the cost. We are going to not to discuss with this chart. We are just want to tell you that we have to put this chart in an operating room where their bills are there, in the wards where their collection centers are there, and where we are doing dressing similarly in operating room and emergency rooms. This chart should be well designed, should be pictorial to understand easily. No one wants to read. Everyone wants to see the picture and throw that thing in the dustbin. But in this we are seeing we are missing one color over there. We are seeing 4 colors. One is yellow, red, blue and black. White is for sharp metals. None are designed for the recyclable bin. That should be there but is not there. And the recyclable material is put in yellow bag, red bag or black bag.
अब हम इस सम्मेलन के दूसरे सत्र की ओर बढ़ने जा रहे हैं। इस सत्र के सम्मानित वक्ता डॉक्टर अरुणकांत सिंह जी हैं। उनका व्याख्यान का शीर्षक है करंट सिनेरियोस फॉर बायोसाइंस एंड मेट्रोलॉजी इन हेल्थ केयर ऑफ इंडिया। सत्र को आरंभ करने से पहले मैं मुख्य अतिथि का बायोस्केच साझा करना चाहूँगा। डॉक्टर अरुणकांत सिंह जी, आप CSI नेशनल फिजिकल लैबोरेटरी नई दिल्ली में वरिष्ठ वैज्ञानिक हैं। आपकी अग्रणी भूमिका मेडिकल डिवाइसेस बनाने एवं बायोसेंसर टेक्नोलॉजी में रही है। आपने IIT कानपुर के साथ कार्य करते हुए 4 व्हील स्टीड और 4 व्हील ड्रिवन इलेक्ट्रिकल व्हीकल जैसे महत्वपूर्ण आविष्कार किए हैं। आपने IIT प्रयागराज में असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर की भूमिका भी निभाई। बायोमेडिकल इंजीनियर, मटेरियल साइंस और ऑटोमेटिक कंट्रोल सिस्टम जैसे क्षेत्रों में सर का बहुआयामी योगदान तकनीक को आगे बढ़ाने में बहुत सहयोगी रहा है। मैं डॉक्टर अरुणकांत सिंह जी को संबोधन प्रस्तुति के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूँ।
Hello, yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon to all, and I'm Arunkant Singh, just like I'm here to just deliver this talk, current scenarios for biosensors and metallurgy of in healthcare of India. Like most of you might not be knowing about metallurgy. This is a biosensors is a very known term, but metallurgy is like very new, might be a very new to you. So metallurgy is basically So can you hear?
Yes.
So metallurgy is what metallurgy is a science of measurement, and basically it's like how measurement plays a key role in your day-to-day life. Like if you're going to buy a 1 kg sugar or 1 liter of milk or all these things, if you're getting 900 grams out instead of 1 kg, then it's a loss to you. And the same theory applies for the nation. If you are sending something to exporting something, and if you are exporting like 1100 grams instead of 1 kg, then it's a loss to you.
इकोनॉमी वाला टॉपिक है सुनना वाला ठीक है सेकंड क्वेश्चन एक स्टाफ चेंज करिए
Good afternoon, everyone. One and all present here. I am Professor Sanjana Chok from Anand International College of Engineering and in School of Basic and Applied Sciences. So, the title of my paper is Green Economy and Sustainable Development: Pathways to a Sustainable Future. We all know. Okay, thank you. So we all know what is green economy, and green economy and sustainable development are the pathways for the sustainable future. We all know that the universe is facing multiple crises, and these crises are interrelated. And what are these crises? These crises are so many, that is biodiversity loss, resource depletion, climate change, and rising inequality. So these crises, we see that transformation to a green economy is essential for ensuring the sustainable development or sustainable future. Actually, what green economy is? What does green economy represent? Is there any brown economy? Yes. There is brown economy and green economy. So green economy, according to the definition of UNEP, it defines that it as the one that presents an improved human well-being and social equality while significantly reducing environmental risks and ecological scarcities. And this green economy model focuses on what? It focuses on low carbon emissions, resource efficiency. So we are talking about resource depletion. So it increases the efficiency of resources and social inclusion. So green economy is what? And green ecosystem or green economical system promotes to what? Sustainable development and sustainable.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Anil Dhawan, Professor and Head of Applied Sciences at Anand International College of Engineering. And the topic for today's presentation is role of education and mathematical literacy in promoting ecological sustainability. So now I'm a material scientist, but I'm trying to explore this area, which is being new for me. So I'm trying my best to explain you whatever we have gathered from this data. So first of all, the very important point comes into mind is what is the role of education in mathematical literacy. That's a very important term in a present scenario. If I have to take you through a journey of understanding, so let me take you like this. Yeah. I come to the introduction part. See, we are facing the kind of global challenges which includes climate change, biodiversity loss, environmental degradation and the need of sustainable development. That's a bigger point. And education plays a particularly, if you talk about the mathematics, that plays a very important role for achieving this goal. And the United Nations Sustainable Development SDG 4 also emphasizes the quality education to meet out this problem as a catalyst. Thank you. So, mathematical literacy enables individuals to integrate the environmental data. That's a very important part. How we can integrate the data that comes from the mathematics and to assess the risk and to evaluate the sustainability metrics such as carbon footprints, energy efficiency, and ecological footprints. And that also helps to understand the pattern and predict the ecological outcomes. That's a very important part, how we can make use of the mathematics in understanding these kind of areas. The intersection of education and mathematical literacy provides a powerful ecological sustainability. That's an important term actually is coming again and again because we are concerned about the sustainability part. And that comes from the study with the mathematical literacy. That's what is the presentation all about. So raising the global awareness about the responsible environmental stewardship, that's the point. So please. So if I take you to a fast journey of the literature review, so a lot of people have studied so many things about this area and they come to the conclusion that definitely higher education institutions are making the kind of, the availability of the knowledge that helps in making the sustainability research, innovations and policy advocacy. And if I talk to you about the mathematical literacy, so people are working around the globe on this particular area and finding out certain...
Like that exponential a z upon 2, here I use exponential minus a z upon 2 and this is the result in front of you. This is the proof of this theorem. Now this is theorem 3.3. Let z belongs to complex number and this is the all properties as same. Then the product of the Bidker function and the generalized Lomel-Wright K function is defined in this. This is the two positive and negative both are part. In this integration we show here and this is the result of this theorem. And this is the proof. Here we introduce special cases. In this section we obtain some integral formula involving Lomel-Wright K function as follows. These are the corollaries of...
2 minutes.
Okay sir. These are the corollaries of the theorems and these are the reference. Thank you sir.
What is the conclusion of this?
Conclusion, the integration of product of Whittaker function with respect to the generalized Lorentz K function were derived here, and these are the results are important role for further.
Any query from the participant? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Good
Good evening, sir. Myself, Dr. Govind Sharma from Vivekananda Global University, Department of Mathematics. My topic is a compressive inventory control model for perishable items for exponential demand, time-dependent deterioration, and linear holding cost. Basically, this is the paper. This is the paper beyond. Already many literature are available on the perishable item that the deteriorate we have when we inventory collect for a process. There are sometimes the item will deteriorate with the time, but here we taken the sudden deteriorate cost. So I am just coming on my word. There we have taken the deteriorate cost, deteriorate rate, and the item demand. Item demand is the based on the D. This is the sell price and the deteriorate condition. Here, this on the modeling part is deteriorate rate with the time dependent. D is the demand rate. T1 is the replacement time, lead time, and PC is the purchase cost. SC is the shortest cost. The base is the paper. Here, CS is the inventory shortest cost. CP is the inventory purchasing cost, C0 is the ordering cost. So DST is the demand, is the function of the time and the selling price. Here the ordering quantity for the stable inventory is the Q. Q is equal Q plus DST. Q is the inventory and the DST is the demand with the time. So we divide our interval 0 to T in the two parts, 0 to T1 and T1 to K. So in the first interval our inventory is di1 upon dt plus alpha beta t beta minus 1 it is equal to minus dst, because the inventory is the when the inventory demand is increased, inventory will be decreased. So and the second part is basically the selling price. The question 3, the selling price when beyond the inventory. So the problem is taken by the solution we are doing that this is the simply differential equation we solve, that I1 value we get, and the solution second is I2 minus BST is taken, I1 T1 is equal to 0.
Now, the question is this: by the need for intelligent systems due to escalating worldwide environmental catastrophe, there is urgent need for intelligent systems that can monitor, simulate and manage ecosystem sustainably. In order to mitigate climate crisis and other advancement, we necessity develop for artificial intelligence in ecosystem modeling. As AI is a powerful tool, it enables protective environmental management, transforming how we comprehend processes and maximize resource utilization. The role of AI in ecosystem, the productive and the proactive management. Proactive management means ranging from autonomous systems to sustainable advanced productive modeling. Sustainability sciences changing our engagement with nature through data-driven insights and monitoring. We need to monitor all the data and track environment change in real time. AI in ecosystem modeling. The first is machine learning. Algorithm here like random forest and SVM analyze intricate database for satellites sensors to predict ecologically pattern and forecasting the forest biomass with greater accuracy than traditional statistical models, and due to risk prediction, AI models identify patterns of deforestation. Deep learning for climate and biodiversity
of integrated modeling, which are very essential to discuss here. Then ecology and system complexity, survival analysis framework, how we can apply the some computing tools based on statistical for survival analysis. And during this session, we present here the case study survival analysis techniques by using R for breast cancer dataset, and linking survival analysis to ecology models. Then integrative hybrid mechanism, and next we have the essential computing tools for quantitative ecology and biological research, and at the end we have the future directions in system. So very first we have the United Nations state in 2015 constitute a global recognized framework for addressing the most pressing social, economic and environmental challenges of the 21st century, and comprising 17 interconnected goals, 169 specific target. SDG aim to guide international efforts towards eradicating poverty, safeguarding the planet, and ensuring prosperity, peace and justice for all by 2030. Unlike previous development agendas, the SDGs emphasize university, integrations and inclusivity, recognizing their progress in one dimension. So here we have some essential component of these goals. First is sustainable and equitable world. Next we have the peace and prosperity for all the people. Protect the planet for the future generation, and end of the poverty globally. And
we studied that how the graph increases and what kind of decisions we have to take. The second is modern approaches. We can use machine learning and optimization algorithms in order to solve the problems that was created. Real time optimization. Optimize, किसी भी चीज को optimize करके देखना कि कैसे कोई decision हम appropriate ले सकते हैं. So next. So there are some mathematical foundations. First is traditional ecological models. Second is optimal control theory. Third is Markov decision process. And the fourth one is multi-criteria decision analysis. In traditional ecological models, we have only quantitative representatives. Means we have only theoretical works, and in optimization control theory, it identifies that time-dependent techniques that we have to optimize the things. In Markov decision process, we break down our main problem into sub-problems so that we can take decision according to that. And the fourth one is multi-criteria decision analysis. In this, we can use other foundations such as optimization and machine learning. We can also use in this. It combines all of these. So next is modern computational decision models. Machine learning, reinforcement learning, game theory, hybrid models. These kind of models can be used in this. Such as machine learning. With the help of machine learning, we can predict not accurate version, but we can use this for sustainability.
So the models which are associated with sustainability are green mathematics. Next is Pooja.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. My name is Pooja, research scholar in the Department of Mathematics at Malviya National Institute of Technology, Jaipur. Today, topic of my presentation is qualitative and numerical analysis of SCIR, SVIV model of lumpy skin disease. Excuse me. The content of my presentation include introduction, mathematical model, qualitative analysis, which include positivity, boundiness of the solution, reproduction number, existence and uniqueness of solution, numerical and graphical simulation. First, lumpy skin disease. Lumpy skin disease is a highly contagious viral disease affecting cattle, causing major economic loss. We have here develop our mathematical model to describe the transmission of LSD, positivity and boundiness of
each other to survive on this planet. So this is all their relationship between each other. The next one is predator-prey dynamic. Game theory explains how predator plan attacks, how prey plan escape, and how they can group defense, camouflage, and warning cells, how they make decisions to survive on this planet. Host pathogen system, it is the immune system and pathogens constantly adapt to each other. Game theory helps us today that how the immune response, how the antibiotic resistance happens, and the vaccination diseases and at the end diseases spread behaviors, how this all work. Using game theory for ecology and environment helps manage shared resources like forests, rivers, and oceans. Explain problems like overfishing or overuse of resources using biodiversity conservation and planning protected areas. Game theory in global sustainability is a countries and must cooperate for issues like climate changes. For example, UNO, United Nations organizations, where they can plan or to protect the species that are going to evolve and to maintain the relationship between the nature. And we have a lot of challenges in our future that we need better real world data to plan the decisions that we need. It is hard to predict human behavior, need models that include many species and entire ecosystem, must connect ecological systems with economic and social systems. Game theory helps us
understand this problem by using the different definitions, criteria, theorem given by the different scientists time to time. Fractional calculus recognized as an extension of the derivative operators concept, expanding it for the non-integer value. In this flow diagram, we can analyze how can make a mathematical model. We take the real data from the world and formulate into a mathematical model. And after mathematical model, we solve it and compare with the real data. If if a result is the matching with the real data, then further proceed. We have correct the mathematical model. Fractional calculus come from questions asked by the L hospitals from the Leibniz. What will be if the order of the derivative is non-integer? Then Leibniz replied that it will give the sum constituents one day, and this is the birth of the fractional calculus. After this, there are many scientists work on fractional calculus. Initially, Euler and Fourier are work on this, and it gives the integral form of the derivative. And in 1819, Leibniz first formulated the nth order of the derivative of the x to the power m. M is the positive order. And after that, in 1847, Riemann, then he is a student and published a paper after his death
to fit that real data. So these are the non-local operators and carry the memory property, while the integer order derivative is local and doesn't carry the memory property. Then next we have epidemic models. Epidemiology, when everybody was suffering, we went through a era of corona. So we have seen how difficult it was. So that time, lot of research, though epidemiology is not a new subject, the research is being done since long back. But because there have been different kinds of epidemics at different times. But corona leads us all to study it in deeper. And then it's like 2020, 2021, many researchers inclined towards the study of epidemiology. So epidemic models, they study how they can be modeled how they can help us in prediction. So that can be, this is the motivation and background of this talk. So when we combine these three things, one is stochasticity, another is fractional calculus, and when we apply these two things together with epidemiological model, we get an enhanced disease prediction. So our model, like if we say simply take the integer order model without stochasticity, anything. So influence estimation, this make it suitable for many real world applications. Thank you. Any questions?
मैडम इसका कोई रियल एप्लीकेशन ऑन फेसबुक?
सर एग्जैक्टली फेसबुक का जो डेटा है सोशल मीडिया में बहुत लार्ज डेटा है, उनमें से मोस्ट इन्फ्लुएंसर का डेटा निकाला है। अभी ऐसा एप्लीकेशंस अभी बनी नहीं। एक्चुअली हम इसे मोस्ट इन्फ्लुएंसर्स को सर्च कर रहे हैं कि मोस्ट इन्फ्लुएंसर्स जो हैं उनके थ्रू हम अपना जो डेटा है, हम इंफॉर्मेशन है वो स्प्रेड कर सके।
इसके लिए भी आपने कितना लार्ज स्केल पर डाटा आपने यूज किया?
सर अभी हमने टेराबाइट और गीगाबाइट में हमने डेटा लिया है और फिर इस पे और वर्क कर रहे हैं अभी।
तो जो डाटा जो लिया उसका कोई स्पेसिफिक पैरामीटर्स या रॉ डाटा आपने यूज किया?
सर रॉ डेटा को जो हमने ग्रीडी अप्रोच के थ्रू रॉ डेटा लिया, देन रॉ डेटा को हमने फिर मोस्ट इन्फ्लुएंसर्स का इनका डेटा निकाला, जैसे कि इस इंफॉर्मेशन बहुत फास्टली स्प्रेड हो रही है, देन इसमें एल्गोरिथम्स का यूज किया है।
तो इसको यूज करके हम कोई इंटेलिजेंट टूल या कोई प्रेडिक्शन मॉडल तैयार कर सकते हैं?
We often think that to solve environment problems, we need expensive million dollar labs and budget tools. But what if I told you to solve your city's biodiversity problem? Today I brought you a new thing, such simple as what we use every day in our life, earbuds. Something that is cheap but yet very powerful. What if I tell you that I can solve your city's biggest biodiversity problem using math, AI and simple cheap earbuds? Good morning everyone. Good morning distinguished guests and my respected teachers. Today I am Abhinav Gautam going to present my paper. I am proud to present my paper about the city's wild birds, a sustainable edge AI framework for real-time urban bioacoustic monitoring. So what is it? To explain you it in simple words, what I have created is
modeling के लिए, complex system की modeling के लिए, because of its memory effect. Now what is memory effect? Not only the present value of the function but also the past historical values of the function contribute in the dynamics, contribute in the operator as per the order of derivative. Like simple सा अगर मैं formula बोलूँ जो फ्रैक्शन वाले जानते भी होंगे इसको यहाँ पर अल्फा डेरिवेटिव अगर हम ले x to the power k का, तो इसकी वैल्यू होती है गामा k plus 1 divided by गामा k plus 1 divided by गामा k minus alpha plus 1 x to the power k minus alpha. तो ये फॉर्मूला itself आपको शो कर रहा है कि x की प्रीवियस वैल्यूज भी इसमें आ रही हैं, कंसीडर हो रही हैं. That is the memory effect of fractional calculus. So in this paper I have considered the hybrid system. My function is in the form of f of txt. Hybrid system means it captures both the terms.
Now, the biological inspiration, as we have the mathematical biology, so this topic actually resembles it. Like human performs complex tasks like vision, motion control or language understanding very well. One way to build the intelligent machine is to try to imitate the human brain. And for this background, we have the biological neurons. Like we have the dendrites, nerve fibers carrying electrical signal to this cell. Cell body compute a non-linear function of its input. Axon, single long fiber that carries the electrical signal from the body to the other neurons and snaps the point of the contact between the axons of the one cell and the dendrite of the another. So this is the biological, you can see the structure of what we have the neurons in our brain that performs the very complex tasks, even few of the non-linear tasks that we have. Now, the artificial neural network all is about the
concentrations and use the boundary conditions using the similarity transformation and the hybrid nanofluids, convert in the PD equations, using the RK4 method in the MATLAB software. This is a validation of my previous research paper. This is the Alcer and Abel, the 2021. In this graph, the first of all, the magnetic field produced the Lorentz force, suppressing velocity and increasing the temperature. The next one is permeability. The higher permeability is to the absorb momentum, reduce velocity and enhance the thermal field. The next one is curvature parameter.
AICTE for approaching us for research article presentation. Myself, Shyamlal Suthar, research scholar of Sangam University under the supervision of Dr. Shweta Bora. I am here to present my paper entitled with 3D MSD rotating flow of Williamson-Casson fluid over a permeable stretching surface with a non-uniform heat sourcing. Basically, the study is on the what kind of the difference on velocity and temperature will be shown in the Williamson and Casson fluids. Both are studied together. Which of the fluid have more velocity and which fluid have more when we use the same parameters, magnetic and other. Abstract is that in the main concept of the study is that when we put the magnetic field parameter, when we put the permeability parameter, what differences are there in the Williamson fluid and Casson fluids. These are the governing equations for continuity, equation of momentum and equation of energy. These are solved under the similarity transformation.
We write the generalized metric function in the series form, and given by earlier we have mentioned the equation 1.5. Replace both the h functions by its Mullin-Berg counter integrals representation using lemma 1, and interchange the order and summation. Take generalized fractional integrals inside and make the detailed simplification. We find our results. Earlier I have shown. So basically we find the results. So with the conclusion that we conclude our investigation by remarking that the results presented in this paper are new and important for the class of generalized metric function. We are also trying to find some basic applications and examples of those results presented here in the different research regions. So these are my references I have been taken for this paper. Thank you so much. Any queries?
In particular, the Gaussian hypergeometric function have found significant importance and applications in various subfields of applicable mathematical analysis, and studied by many mathematicians like Love, McBride, Caroline Saxena, and so on. Next, what is fractional integral inequalities? Inequalities have proved to be one of the most powerful and far-reaching tools for the development of many branches of mathematics. The study of mathematical inequalities plays very important role in classical differential and integral equations, which have applications in many fields. Fractional inequalities are important in studying the existence, uniqueness and other properties of fractional differential equations, and so on. Next is fractional Q calculus. The fractional Q calculus is the Q extension of ordinary fractional calculus, and the theory of Q calculus operators in the recent past have been applied in the areas like ordinary fractional calculus, optimal control problems, tutorial given by the equation number 17. Now the SIGO introduced the pair of hypergeometric operator by I and J in the equation number 18 and 19. Where the hypergeometric function 2f1 is defined by equation number 20. For alpha and beta real, the fractional Q integral operator I and K defined in following manner by equation number 21 and 22. Now another definition for real alpha greater than 0 beta and eta given real number, then Q analog of Sivers fractional integral is given by equation number 23. And also the Q analog of Riemann value fractional integral operator of function of order alpha is given by equation number 24, and Q analog of Erdős-Kroger fractional integral operator defined in equation number 25. And there is a lemma where f is the continuous function, then the one of the inequality by Choi and Agarwal 2000 given by the equation number 26 and 27. Next I and H defined by 28.
Sir, please come to the main findings.
The conclusion
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself Nisha Papachan. I'm a PhD scholar from IIS University, and I'm doing my research under the guidance of Dr. Ekta Mittal ma'am, IIS University. The topic of my presentation is an framework for fractional differential equation, improved accuracy and comparative analysis. So basically, I'm using the artificial neural network to solve any fractional differential equations. Okay, so these are the contents which we are going through. First, we'll tell you the abstract, then the motivation. We have some couple of examples, and then I have some references. So in this paper approximates the solution of fractional differential equation by using fundamental characteristics of artificial neural networks for function approximation. So basically, first we estimate the solution of fractional differential equation by applying the artificial neural network, and in the second stage, by using the optimization techniques, we have reduced the error with doing comparison with the exact solution. So to the best of our knowledge, our findings are new, and it gives more accurate answers as compared to the existing methods. All the previous works has been done using those examples and taking the different cases. So these are the basic definitions. Like we have gamma functions, we have Riemann-Riogal fractional integral and derivatives. Then we have Capitano fraction derivatives. These are the equations. So before going into my work, let me tell you first of all a basic idea.
Yes, abstract. When my research analyzed the effect of permeability, radiation and thermodiffusion, providing a comprehensive understanding of the underlying mechanism. The transformed nonlinear differential equations are solved numerically by BBP4C solver using MATLAB, and the results are presented in terms of velocity, temperature and concentration profile. The finding reveals significant influence of permeability, radiation and thermodiffusion on the flow and heat transfer characteristics. The study's outcome have important implications for engineering applications such as design of heat exchanger, chemical processing and biomedical devices and many more fields. These keywords I have used in my research paper, and this is a literature review and research case I have analyzed. I have considered from 2018 research in which only stretching sheet considered, but there is shooting method were considered. After that, in 18, Jain and Bohra considered heat generation and absorption on MHD heat flow. And in this continuation, I have observed that Williamson, Kaysen fluids, but there is no addition of stretching sheet here. So I have discussed in my research paper that Kaysen fluid flow over a stretching sheet.
विश्वसनीय, शक्तिशाली, अब
विश्लेषणात्मक तकनीक है, विशेषकर उन समस्याओं में जहां अन्य प्रचलित विधियां यानी डिफरेंट मेथड्स दोज आर अवेलेबल आर नॉट एप्लीकेबल या उनकी कुछ लिमिटेशंस है। तो मैं ये बेसिकली काम करने वाला हूँ। मैं आई गो टू द माय प्रेजेंटेशन। दोस्त बताना पड़ेगा, हैंड से चलेगा, इससे ओके। So a new analysis of a partial differential equation arising in biology and population genetics via semi-analytical techniques. Right? So this is my topic. In this work, we propose a new optimal permutational integration method for solving the generalized Fn equation with time-dependent coefficients. Right? ये दो साइंटिस्ट के नाम पे इफेगेंशु और निगोमी जो है, दो साइंटिस्ट थे, रशिया से बिलोंग करते हैं। इन दोनों ने मिलकर ये पर्टिकुलर वर्क किया और इन्हीं के नाम पे ये प्रचलित है। This research reveals that the new proposed techniques with the aid of symbolic computation provides a straightforward and impressive mathematical tool for solving non-linear partial differential equation. Linear और non-linear ये समझ में आता है आप लोगों को? Linear क्या होता है, non-linear क्या होता है? सबको समझ में आता है? बताइए क्या होता है? कोई भी एक पर्सन बताइए, क्योंकि यहाँ पे कुछ बच्चे हमारे बैठे हुए हैं तो मैं सोचूंगा कि उनको मालूम चले।
y dash plus px is equal to q की फॉर्म तो लीनियर है, और y डबल डैश प्लस p डैश p y डैश प्लस q y is equal to r, वो आपकी सेकंड डिफरेंशियल ऑर्डर।
नहीं, ये तो अलग चीज हो गई। हम तो लीनियर नॉन लीनियर की बातें कर रहे हैं।
सर लीनियर में डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल और उसके डेरिवेटिव्स जो होते हैं उनकी डिग्री जो है ऑलवेज 1 रहती है और कभी भी उन दोनों का प्रोडक्ट साथ में नहीं आता है।
करेक्ट करेक्ट, ये फर्स्ट ऑर्डर की बात हो गई, मतलब हायर ऑर्डर में भी हो सकती है, तो सेम प्रोसेस चलता है।
और जो ये फॉलो नहीं करता वो सारे
बहुत बढ़िया। योर गुड डे मैम। प्रियंका जी ने बिल्कुल बढ़िया शब्दों में बताया। तो इसको यूं मान सकते हैं कि कोई एक फंक्शन है, मैं मान लेता हूं कि फंक्शन f है, ओके। डेरिवेटिव का मतलब क्या होता है? मूवमेंट। हम सिंपल मान लेते हैं मेरा हाथ एक फंक्शन है, अब इस हाथ को मुझे ऐसे मूवमेंट करना है तो उसमें डेरिवेटिव लगेगा, राइट? तो dy समथिंग डेरिवेटिव जो होगा वो जो लगेगा उसके बेसिस पे इसके अंदर जो आउटकम आएगा उसके लिए एक डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन क्रिएट की जाती है। उसमें अगर उसका जो प्रोडक्ट है डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल के साथ ना हो, सिंगल डिग्री में रहे तो सिंगल ऑर्डर डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन में दैट इज कॉल्ड द लीनियर, और ऐसा ना हो तो नॉन लीनियर बन जाती है। तो नॉन लीनियर में कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी बढ़ गई, ये मतलब हुआ। मतलब अगर सिंपल भाषा में कहें तो लीनियर आसान होती है, नॉन लीनियर डिफिकल्ट होती है। हम सब अभी जितने भी लोग हैं, चाहे वो मैथमेटिक्स के हो, इंजीनियरिंग के हो, अगर ब्रॉडली हम काम करते हैं तो नॉन लीनियर डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन में काम करते हैं आजकल, क्योंकि हमें बहुत सारी कंडीशंस का ध्यान रखना पड़ता है, बहुत सारे पैरामीटर्स का ध्यान रखना पड़ता है और उनको साथ लेके चलना पड़ता है। फिर कुछ बाउंड्री कंडीशंस होती है, राइट? कुछ लिमिटेशंस होती है जिनको बाउंड्री कंडीशंस कहते हैं। तो दैट इज व्हाई वी आर डीलिंग विद द नॉन लीनियर डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशंस। Implementing this method to Fn equation illustrate its potentiality. Convergence analysis also shows that OPIM, unlike many other methods in literature, converges fast to exact analytical solution of the nonlinear problems at lower order of approximation. Approximation क्या होता है? तो बता सकते हैं approximation? इंजीनियरिंग वाले तो समझते हैं, बहुत यूज करते हैं approximation.
Nearest to the desired solution.
सर ने सही कहा, नियरेस्ट टू द डिजायर्ड सॉल्यूशन, राइट? दैट इज कॉल्ड द अप्रोक्सीमेशन। उसके लिए हम इटरेशन करते हैं। इटरेशन का मतलब सिंपल भाषा में कहें तो उसको जो असली रिजल्ट है उसको दी हुई जो बाउंड्री कंडीशंस है उसके माध्यम से उसके नियरेस्ट ले जाने की कोशिश करते हैं, और जहां जाके वो कॉनकेव से कॉन्वेक्स में बदल जाता है वहीं रुक जाते हैं कि भैया आप मामला गड़बड़ हो रहा है, राइट? अगर मैं ग्राफिकली इसको बात करूं तो कॉनकेव से कॉन्वेक्स या कॉन्वेक्स से कॉनकेव की संरचनाएं जैसे उत्पन्न शुरू होना होती है तो उस पॉइंट को हम पकड़ लेते हैं और उसके लिए हम न्यूमेरिकल टेक्निक्स और बहुत सारी एनालिटिकल टेक्निक्स यूज करते हैं, राइट? One of the most broadly studied biological system with inspired action is neural communication through electrical signaling with nerve signals. अब हम सोचते हैं ना ये लाइटें कैसे चल रही है, हम जाते हैं, आजकल ऐसी भी लाइटें हो गई कि आप जाते हो लाइट जल जाती है, बंद हो जाती है, सेंसर बेस्ड, राइट? ये सब कैसे बनाई होगी एक इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियर ने? उसने कुछ नहीं किया, उसने दिमाग के न्यूरॉन्स को समझा, उस कॉन्सेप्ट को समझा और उसके बेसिस पे इम्प्लीमेंट करना शुरू कर दिया। हमारा दिमाग भी ऐसे ही चलता है, होता है ना। आप मान लीजिए 10,000 लोग बैठे हो और आप, जैसे मैं अभी खड़ा होने का मुझे मौका मिला, आप खड़े हैं, उन 10,000 लोगों में से आप 2 लोगों को जानते हैं, मेरी गारंटी है विद इन अ फ्यू सेकंड आप उनको आइडेंटिफाई कर जाएंगे। उन 10,000 लोगों में 10,000 में भी आइडेंटिफाई कर जाएंगे कि और प्रकाश जी बैठे, हाय प्रकाश जी। जैसे अभी अभी मेरे मित्र आए जो आपके चीफ गेस्ट है, तो जैसे ही एंटर किया हमने हाई कर दिया, आपसे बैठे हुए, जबकि मेरा ध्यान पूरा इधर है। सेम टेक्नोलॉजी यूज होती है, राइट। तो इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग जो कंसेप्ट है वो उसी से बना है बेसिकली, वहीं से वो डेवलपमेंट किया उन्होंने। न्यूरॉन्स, जादू न्यूरॉन्स का होता है।
बाकी सभी हेड ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट्स, फैकल्टी मेंबर्स, पार्टिसिपेंट्स जो बाहर से आए हुए हैं, और सभी लोगों का हार्दिक अभिनंदन। आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है इस वैलिडिटी फंक्शन में। ये 3 दिवसीय 27 तारीख से 29 नवंबर के बीच में एक नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस जो मैथमेटिकल बायोलॉजी एंड इकोलॉजी फॉर सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट, जो कि AICT वानी के तहत प्रायोजित है, ये पूर्णिमा कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग के अंदर आनंद इंटरनेशनल कॉलेज के सहयोग के साथ में 3 दिन तक हम सभी साथ रहे। अब मैं सभी का स्वागत करता हूं कि इस फंक्शन के अंदर, इस वैलिडिटी फंक्शन में हम सब एकत्रित हुए हैं। ये सब्जेक्ट, ये टॉपिक जो मैथमेटिकल बायोलॉजी इकोलॉजी फॉर सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट था, AICT वानी जो कि रीजनल प्रमोट कर रही है, उनके लिए भी ये कन्वर्जेंस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था, क्योंकि मैथमेटिक्स के साथ में बायोलॉजी और इकोलॉजी दोनों को, तीनों को सबमिट करके ये जो कन्वर्जेंस बना है, ये बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स जो कि आज सारी दुनिया फेस कर रही है, चाहे वो क्लाइमेट चेंज पे हो, एनवायरमेंटल के अंदर हो, या नेचुरल रिसोर्स डिप्लीशन पे हो, या पॉपुलेशन डायनामिक्स में डिजीज के अंदर हो, सभी चीज़ों के अंदर मैथमेटिक्स मॉडलिंग बहुत ही उपयोगी साबित हुई है। बहुत सारे जो कॉन्फ्रेंस के अंदर जिन्होंने शोधपत्र प्रस्तुत किए हैं, उन्होंने भी मैथमेटिकल मॉडलिंग, चाहे वो ANN हो, और बहुत सारे नाम भी इतने टिपिकल होते हैं कि याद भी नहीं रह रहे थे, सभी के अंदर बहुत सारे मॉडल्स के साथ में उन्होंने प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग की तरफ अपने शोधपत्र प्रस्तुत किए। तो और इन्हीं के साथ में ये बिल्कुल निकल के आया है कि आने वाले वक्त के अंदर भी मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी रिसर्च हमेशा से ही सभी जगहों के अंदर प्रोत्साहित की जाएगी, जिससे कि सभी फील्ड के लोग आपस में मिलकर उस डायरेक्शन में काम करें जहाँ पे हम प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग की तरफ आएँ और क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग की तरफ आएँ। और इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ में मैं शिल्पी मैम, फैकल्टी कोऑर्डिनेटर्स और वॉलंटियर्स का धन्यवाद करता हूँ कि उनके सतत प्रयासों से ये कॉन्फ्रेंस संभव हो पाई है, और उम्मीद करता हूँ कि सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स जो कि आए और जिन्होंने कि अपने शोध पत्र प्रस्तुत किए और अपने टीम के साथ में दोस्त बना के जो फ्यूचर